Wild Mongrel, 35, you won this Eric Powell original sketch. Stay tuned to the end of the video. We got some J. Scott Campbell goodness on deck for a giveaway. What's good, comic fam? Another week, another list of the top 10 trending comics in the comic book market. At the table, like I do every single week, hit the subscribe button with an Overstreet price guide advisor. Russ, how you feeling?
I'm doing great, Tom. You know what? We just wrapped up San Diego Comic-Con at Home Edition, and a ton of great information happened that is making all of these books move and shake.
Let's start this list off at number 10. Hit the like button, comic fam. We need your support. And we're chatting about Hawkeye issue number 9, hitting $15 average sales and a $40 high. An increase of copies sold of over 525%. After rumors of a casting call looking for an Eastern European descent individual to play what I believe to be a pseudonym, a character named Eric. Who could this be, Russ?
Well, there is a Polish character, Clown, who's introduced in this one, Kazimierzak, and that really ends up feeling like the type of villain that you want. You look at the casting call, there's only supposed to be 6 episodes, and this person is supposed to be showing up in 4 or 5 of them, so he's going to be a major character. Eric is not going to be a run-of-the-mill person. This is going to be a very integral character to this show.
If this proves to be correct, let's chat about a second print hitting the market, though.
And that's kind of the thing. This Fraction run was very popular, and Marvel was releasing second prints of these. We've seen a lot of second prints of these other books spike because of low print runs, and this is no exception. We've seen a second print of Hawkeye number 9 going for $170 to even $200 for a 9.8.
There's only, of cover A, 15 comics graded on the CGC census. I expect there to be more soon, and 13 of which are at 9.8.
This is a book that a lot of people are getting a high grade, but it's just not hitting the market in those grades. People aren't quite selling them yet.
Production is still being teased a while away, and we only know a couple of things. Jeremy Renner is tied to make an appearance. We believe Haley Steinfeld is going to be Stature. Could this be the third announcement coming? Well, you're going to have to wait to find out.
I am excited.
What do we got at number 9? Because Rob Liefeld's making the list?
Number 9 on the list, all you 90s comic book collectors, dust off another book that none of us ever thought we'd be talking about, X-Force number 10.
$3 average sales. We're not even going to put a high there because the increase in copies sold is 1,100%.
Well, we know that with 10 of Swords, which is a big Marvel event that they've been teasing for the past few months, well, the start of 10 of Swords was in the free Comic Book Day book that was supposed to be out in May, but was actually released 2 weeks ago. There is a lot of buzz because, again, Jonathan Hickman is writing another Marvel event. He did a fantastic job with Powers and House, and I think people are really just moving towards what looks to be an exciting new event.
Dude, I saw that poster months ago, and we know we got a bunch of dope heroes, a lot of mutants wielding these like legendary swords.
Right.
I mean, heck, we saw Wolverine. What was he wielding?
Wolverine's got the Muramasa blade. We've got Rachel Sommers with the Phoenix blade. I mean, this is kind of a cool way to tie in all of these Excalibur type weapons.
Ooh, and Excalibur, we believe to be one of the weapons incorporated into this run. And what do we see here in an upcoming Excalibur run? The introduction of
the Externals,
which first appeared in this X-Force run. Keep an eye out for it. I don't think that this book is going to see some major gains, but that's why we're putting it at a low $3 average sale.
Number 8 on the list, another massive surprise, Batman vs. Predator, number 1 from Dark Horse Comics 1991. This book has been going all over the place. We're seeing an average sale of $18, but we're seeing sets of 1, 2, and 3 go for as high as $200. Tell us more about this, Tom.
Well, I don't think we're going to expect to see Batman in the Marvel universe now that they own the rights to Predator in print. So what's going on here is we have Polygon writing an article that's making a suggestion, pointing out that this run, this classic battle, which, by the way, great read. The introduction of Predator, seeing him for the first time in his camouflage gives you chills on those pages. The battle, the swearing between Batman and Predator, it's an epic run, man. But the commentary on it is that you're probably not going to be able to buy reprints. They're probably not going to be able to make more of these comics because, well, the franchises have moved in this new way. So with that, it makes it more scarce. It makes it more wanted. And now we're seeing this book spike. But to these prices, I'm not sure about.
I think you're right, Tom, because really this is one of those things that we can't even give you a percentage increase because there weren't any of these sold before this article, and there are just a bunch of people rushing to buy this book. I have multiple copies of this book. I've sold them for almost nothing before. There are multiple covers. There's Art Soydum connecting cover of number 1. There's a prestige format as well as a floppy format. I mean, there are so many factors of this. I just think people are, again, getting this fear of missing out, and I really don't think there's a whole lot of reasoning for it.
Is it FOMO, comic fan? We want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's chat about number 7 on the list because Kevin Smith is making it again, but for a reason I did not expect. His Green Hornet run? What's going on?
While we've had a bunch of Green Hornet runs, this is the Green Hornet from 2010, $4 sale. But this is a Kevin Smith written book, and we know that he's a great writer. He's done a good job with movies. He had Batman Cacophony he wrote. He's been writing a bunch of other series, but this Green Hornet series, now that he's tied to an actual series in production, is seeing a lot of movement.
An animated series that's going to follow the son and daughter of the Green Hornet Encanto series, probably from his run. It would make sense that he would tie it to stuff that he's written. You can definitely see that Hollywood and producers, they're after young heroes, probably to secure their spot as those characters so they can be utilized long term.
That's probably right, Tom, because when you start thinking about Tony Stark 10 years ago or, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, if they do plan on doing these movies for the next decade or so, they want someone who's going to be able to consistently play it and grow with the character. You don't want to have someone age out too quickly.
Now, before we move on, I want to chat about a CBCS sale that I thought could be kind of informative to the community. A 9.6 copy of this issue going for $25, but $5 shipping. What does that mean?
The interesting thing about that is if you've ever shipped a graded book, you know that the only way you're going to ship it properly with the right padding to make sure that it doesn't get crushed is in a medium flat rate box. You can put them in other priority boxes, but it's heavy enough that you cannot ship it any other way. It's going to cost you $15 minimum to ship that book. So something that's $25 with a $5 shipping, it's actually probably $15 is what that seller made on the book.
At the list at number 6, post San Diego Comic-Con hype, we have Marvel Spotlight, issue number 12. The first full appearance of the son of Satan, Damian Hellstrom. This book is seeing average sales of $60. We're seeing a high sale at $666 with a 575% increase in copies sold because really, the biggest trailer, the biggest news, the biggest reveal that came out of San Diego Comic-Con for me personally was this trailer. And I want to remind everybody that this is a unique situation as it pertains to all of these shows that are coming out under the Marvel umbrella. This is being put on Hulu because it's supposed to be more mature. This is like religious horror-themed superhero content, the son of Satan, right? So Marvel probably not feeling too comfortable putting this on their lineup next to WandaVision.
Yeah.
It's kind of foreshadowing a comic on this list, by the way. But over on Hulu, they're going to keep this one single series going from former producers. I think there is a chance that they're still going for this horror-themed content, and that's why Spec is very interesting for this book. I'm pumped about the trailer.
Well, and this also seems to be that they had the series planned. There are most likely other characters and other things going to be stemming out of this. So they're not planning on doing more than one series of this, but since they already had other things in the works, they have to kind of keep this one going.
And that's why we're seeing other spec happen for things like Ghost Rider and other kind of supernatural characters. But as far as this one in particular, knowing that he's going to be on screen, we're seeing this book now starting to gain traction because his first cameo appearances are getting to be so expensive.
Oh, really? Yes. Ghost Rider number 1 and Ghost Rider number 2 are not necessarily affordable books. So picking up Marvel Spotlight 12, that's a little bit more affordable.
Well, Ghost Rider issue 2, his second cameo, hitting a price at 9.6 this past month at $600. And Ghost Rider number 1, the first cameo appearance, and it's a Ghost Rider key, hitting, wait for it, a $3,666 at 9.0 this very month.
At least we know that the comic book fam has a sense of humor.
At number 5, we got West Coast Avengers 4-5.
This is such a great cover, Tom. And again, I really do like Avengers 57, first appearance of Vision. So it's nice to be able to have White Vision come and play a little bit.
We expect the Vision to be brought back. Heck, we've seen him in the preview. We know this whole story is going to be about him and Scarlet Witch's life, whether it's in her head, whether it's in her control, we don't know. But the idea is that this rejuvenation, him being brought back, will tie to this transition the character made in the comics.
So the speculation is that he's being reassembled, his data's been wiped, and now he can be incorporated into Wanda's vision.
$15 average sales for this comic book, and it's been coming and going on this list over the last year, but we're also seeing a high sale at 9.8 of $160. Now, if you go on eBay, though, you may see some higher sales than that.
Yes, $200 is what we're seeing for the prices from Canada. The top 3 sales for this book are all from Canada. Understand that even with their shipping and the exchange rate, that price is not necessarily as high as it looks. I know you're paying in US dollars, but if you're getting it from a Canadian seller, they're paying extra just to get it shipped to the States.
An increase of over 1,100%, man. I mean, that's a lot of people that are being reminded that these shows are coming, even if it's still slated for a release in spring 2021 at best.
I think people are just looking forward to anything right now, Tom.
Comic fam, these aren't the only comic books that were affected by the San Diego Comic-Con news. You need to download Key Collector Comics, the best comic book app that exists for both Android and iPhones. And if you use code TOM101, you help support the show, but it unlocks a free 1-week subscription, and you can get access to the top 20 trending list that this top 10 was based off of, so you can keep up on all San Diego Comic-Con key comic news.
Number 4 on the list, we have Young Avengers #1. And it is so fitting to be talking about all of these new characters, and if you're using your Key Collector app, you can see how many of these are first appearances. This is absolutely the modern version of Giant Size X-Men #1 with so many first appearances, but the important one is Kate Bishop's first appearance in this book.
Yeah, we already chatted about the Hawkeye hype, and with a character getting attention that is featured in this run and is part of this team, it brings focus back to the comic that was really the spec of choice post Avengers Endgame.
Oh yes, Tom, we were seeing a lot of talk about this book, and right now it is selling for $70, an average price, and a high sale of $379 for a 9.8. This book has seen its ebbs and flows over the last year and a half, but as we near closer and closer to some more Hawkeye production, this book is gaining steam again.
It's been around $300 to $400 for over a year now, and we're seeing an increase of copies sold in 7 days of 250%.
Number 3 on the list, another great young character that a lot of people are getting behind.
True.
Kamala Khan's first full appearance in All New Marvel .1. Now, this had a relatively low print run of about 33,000, and this was marketed to retailers as this is the jumping on point for new Marvel characters. I didn't have a lot of Marvel people who wanted this book because they weren't really interested in jumping on. They already knew what was going on in the Marvel Universe, so they missed out on this great book.
$50 average sales for this comic book, and seeing a high 9.8 go for $625, an increase of copies sold of 540%. This character is now moving in the place where Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales is as the biggest characters to spec on in 2020. I want to remind the community that if you're interested in following the high sales in the market, not the trending list that we cover here every week, but the biggest sales in the comic market, the highest books, we follow longevity, and we follow these gem books every single week with Gem from Gem Mint Collectibles right here on YouTube. So be sure to follow that video as well.
Tom and I love making this list, letting you know what is being affected by the market, but my gosh, when you want to know what the highest dollar sales are, you got to check out their new video.
Ooh, what's this? Number 2 on the list, we got Robert Kirkman affecting it because of Walking Dead. Nope. Invincible. Nope. We got to talk about Oblivion Song.
Oblivion Song #1, the main cover is selling for $9 and a $100 high sale of a 9.8. Now keep in mind that when Robert Kirkman published this book, he made an absolute promise that they would never, ever, ever again reprint #1. unless it was in a graphic novel form or something like that. But there was only one single printing of Oblivion Song #1. So people ordered the heck out of this book, and it was really, really easy to find for a long time. And then production rumors started to happen of this could be, and then it got cold forever. So it's nice to know this week that Kirkman's letting us know that, yep, things are still happening, just slower than we expected.
An increase of copies sold of 870% after Robert Kirkman assured us that it's still happening. I suspect because of the amount of delays that are going on, we're going to see production companies start to leak less. They're probably going to wait until things are actually happening, like casting, these bigger movements to take place before they let the community know so that they don't lose credibility.
We have already seen that Robert Kirkman can play his cards close to his chest when he needs to. He ended Walking Dead without people knowing. He released Die without anyone understanding. So when he makes a statement like this, you can tell that he's really doing his best to keep this as much under wraps as possible.
Yeah, we're probably going to see less opportunities when little news breaks out to jump in on these books. A $9 buy-in seems pretty cheap if you're speccing on this dystopian run.
Keep in mind, you only have 2 weeks left to sign up for the mystery mail call with this amazing Maestro variant done by Valerio Giangiordano. This thing is astounding, and the only way you're going to get it is if you sign up for the mystery mail call before August 15th.
Link in the description to join the community. You support the show, and we send you comics every month. #1 on this list, Comic Fam, we make this list every week. Hit the subscribe button. We want to keep you informed. I'm surprised, man. I'm surprised that this movie's happening. I'm surprised about the community outcry to have made it happen. And now we are seeing comic books come up post San Diego Comic-Con because of Zack Snyder releasing footage of Superman in the black suit, #1 on the list. We got the first time he did it.
#1 on the list. I am in absolute disbelief of this one. Action Comics 689. It's the first appearance of the black suit for Superman. And I'm just shaking my head at this one. So Zack Snyder released a video clip. There was a CG'd version. The black suit helps Superman regenerate. Man, this book came out 3 months after the white-bagged Superman, the one where it was the resurrection, that 3.4 million copies were made of. This is a very high print run. There's got to be at least 1 million of them out there. I cannot tell you how many times I've had this book. I cannot tell you how little I've ever cared about this book. And right now, it is spiking. It is crazy. $15 raw, and I chuckled when I saw this. There actually is someone who paid money to get this graded. It came back at a 9.4, and that sold for $30 on eBay. So someone paid $30 to lose money on this book, but the community is speaking. I mean, Zack Snyder is doing what he needs to do, and a lot of people are just getting behind a book that we know is a super high print run. It's probably not got a lot of longevity, but people who want this book are willing to pay for it.
5,500% increase in copies sold. Holy smokes, that happened quick. There was spec that this was going to happen before the movie released. Years ago, you'll see YouTube clips of people saying Black Suit Superman is coming. So seeing it on screen, I know long-term spec probably isn't there for this. However, seeing these moments hit the screen matters to collectors. Let's not play around, man. If it's going to hit the screen, it's going to vibe with people. It's going to make them want to add it to their collection. And heck, this is a big moment. I mean, it took a lot of individuals voicing their opinions, demanding, signing petitions to make this movie happen. The celebrities getting involved. The fact that it actually is going to happen, it's a monumental thing. So if this lands, if this regenerates the DC franchise for the JLA, this could be looked at as a book that is defining that moment possibly. So yeah, I do see some reason why people want to put their money towards a book that's affordable, but dang, that print count is high.
I mean, right now, even watching Henry Cavill building a computer is making me want to buy this book, you know?
Comic Fan, we appreciate you. Slap the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then of course, as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Comment down below. Entry to win this J. Scott Campbell Spider-Gwen #1 variant. We also got a podcast and that top 10 back issue bin, the comic books that will define a generation video with Gem and Collectibles right there for you to check out. We'll see you next week.